What the European Parliament is engaged in here today with this debate and subsequent vote is nothing less than a massive exercise in deceit. A pack of lies are being told, and they're being told because you do not want the peoples of Europe to have the referendums that you promised them. It is the imposition of the will of the political class upon the citizens. We all know the truth. The Lisbon Treaty is the same as the EU Constitution. Exactly the same number of new competences. Exactly the same number of surrenders of veto. It is virtually identical in every regard. And it is constitutional because it gives this European Union a full legal personality, but worse still, it gives it the ability to amend itself in the future without having to refer to more intergovernmental conferences. It gives the EU the ability to legislate over literally every single aspect of our lives. I'm told, though, I shouldn't worry, because the flag and the anthem have been dropped. Well, pull the other one. There's a great big flag at the front there. It's nonsense. It's all part of the lie. The truth is that you are too chicken to have a referendum. You don't want to hear the voice of the people, and now you resort to totalitarian means to get this treaty through. We heard Danny Cohn-Bendit say that those that oppose this treaty are mentally ill. We heard Mr Schulz say that those of us that objected to the sheer dishonesty of this project were behaving like Nazis back in the 1930s. Well, I think the ordinary, decent citizens of Europe will work out for themselves who the extremists are. And I must say, I wish the people of Ireland, I wish those that believe in democracy, every success in a couple of months' time, and I hope they send a large, resounding no, and I hope the voice of the peoples of Europe will be heard, not that of just you, the political class. And you may be complacent today, but you are increasingly being held in contempt.
Sarkozy's mini-treaty will now be around 3,000 pages instead of the 560 pages in the rejected constitution. The majority has the right to endorse the treaty, but you have no right to refuse a normal parliamentary scrutiny of this Lisbon Treaty. I have asked more than 700 serious questions on the interpretation of the different articles. You don't know the answers. You approve secrecy instead of transparency. You approve a reduction of parliamentary democracy instead of insisting on this Parliament's right to represent our voters, scrutinise on behalf of our voters, question the executive on behalf of the 500,000 citizens we represent. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, it's evening. It's been a very long day. We've been protesting in this Parliament, as you know, for months against the Lisbon Treaty, the Constitution, being pushed through without the referendums that previously people were promised. Well, it all came to a head today, because today was the day we actually debated the treaty and voted on the treaty. And it'll be no surprise to you that a very massive, massive majority of this European Parliament voted to approve the treaty.
The vote is open. Has everyone voted? The vote is closed. 499 against, that's rejected.
We, of course, protested against this, and the theme for the day was that they were too chicken to hold a referendum. So in the chamber, the UKIP MEPs all wore these T-shirts saying, too chicken for a referendum, and outside we had some staff who were also protesting. And at one point during the protest, the staff were being surrounded by security guards and press cameras, and I was asked to come out and see what was going on. And I went out, and yeah, it was getting a bit heated, it was getting a bit aggressive.
Yes. I was to say, be demonstrating in favour of the Constitution, I'd be in the bloody chamber. And applauded. But why are the rules applied differently to us?
Can't wear a chicken costume anywhere in the EU anymore.
No one's been arrested.
Maybe it's in the treaty.
No.
We don't have
Not yet. They will be.
They haven't. Everybody has to sign it without.
You can there's any issue you like in this Parliament, and that's fine. You can wear death masks and protest against nuclear energy. All of that's fine. But if you criticise the European Union and you want referendums in member states on this treaty, they will fine you, they will arrest you, they will do God knows what. And in the middle of all of this, one of the veteran correspondents who's been here for 20 years, a man by the name of Jim Gibbons, who does clips and outtakes for the ITN network across the country, interviewed me and asked me what was going on, and I said that the treaty was going through and that they were beginning to behave in a totalitarian manner, that we've been accused of being mentally ill, we've been accused of behaving like Nazis, and this from people who call us the extremists. Well, that was the interview, and you would have thought that was fine. As I turned my heels and walked away, the head of the European Parliament's audiovisual service turned to this veteran journalist and said, I don't want you to use that clip. The Parliament services, meaning the cameraman, are not here to record dissent. It was a deliberate attempt to censor what was put out from this place. Now, fortunately, a correspondent, a senior correspondent from the BBC was close at hand, and she said, well, if that's how they're going to behave, if they're going to regulate our input, the BBC will withdraw from the European Parliament. Well, since that time, there's been a climb down, and the audiovisual unit have apologised and said they simply overreacted in the heat of the do what you like. But if you criticise the European Union, and in particular, if you criticise them for breaking their promises not to put this constitutional treaty to a referendum, you get treated badly. These people are being carted off. We've got members in there who are going to be tomorrow fined and suspended from the chamber. There's no opposition allowed. So frankly, they're using totalitarian tactics.
I noticed that many of them were absent from the debates for long periods because they were outside the chamber dressed as chickens. I think that is very symbolic. They are chicken because they chickened out of the debate here because they are afraid of the verdict of this democratic debate.
But I will tell you this, from what I've seen in this place over the course of the last few months, they are becoming totalitarian in their instincts. They cannot abide, they cannot bear opposition of any kind. It looks like we're going to be denied a referendum, I'm afraid, on this constitutional treaty, which means what we've got to do as a party is to get ourselves ready for the European elections of June next year, which may be the only opportunity we'll ever get to send a message.